All right, good morning, everyone. Before we get started today, why don't you go ahead and get something to write with, and then also get something to write on, so a piece of paper or something like that. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a few problems, and I have already solved these problems, but I tried my best to stump you. Okay, so I've made some mistakes, I've made some errors, so I want you to look real close and see, can you find the error? All right. So, are you ready to play Can Mr. Rupar Stump You? So, first one. It did 4 times 1/5. So, if you need to, pause the video for a second, solve the answer, and then let's take a look how I did it. And I'm going to explain how I did it. So, I just did 4 times 1, 4 times 5, and I got 4/20ths because I remembered when we added fractions, whatever we did to the top, we had to do to that bottom. So, was I right? Did I make a mistake? You're right. I did make a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. This is 4 groups of 1/5. Here, this is just an equivalent fraction. This is something equal to 1/5. But I need to do 4 groups of 1/5. So I should end up with 4/5, right? And there's a bunch of different ways that we've talked about how you could do that. But plain and simple, that's what you've gotten. All right, that was the easy one, right? I just had to warm you guys up. Now we're going to get real into it, okay? 6 times 3/5. So again, pause your screen, solve this problem, and when you're ready, unpause it. So the way that I solved this is I broke it up. I did 3/5 plus 3/5 plus 3/5, and that's 9/5, right? So this 9/5, this is 3 groups of 3/5. So then I took that 9, and I know I needed 3 more groups, right? So I did 9/5 times 3 and got 27/5. And right down here, I said I needed to multiply by 3 because 9/5 was only 3 groups of 3/5, and I need 6 groups. Okay, so I got 27/5 with my answer being 5 2/5. So was I right? Did I make a mistake? Darn it, you're right. I did make a mistake. I could have done this, right? I could have started here. What would have I had to multiply that by to get 6 groups? That's right, we would have had to multiply it by 2 because 9/5 was 3 groups. This would be equal to 3 times 3/5. So I need to double that to get 6 groups. This is tripling it, right? We don't want to triple it, we just want to double it. So we should get 18/5. All right? So I have a quick question for you. Would the problem have changed if I did 3/5 of 6? Because if I think about this, right, 6 times 3/5, that means it's going to get bigger because I'm multiplying it by 6. But 3/5 of 6 doesn't mean it's going to get smaller. So would that answer be any different? No. Hopefully we thought about the fact that no, it's the same, Mr. Rupar, you're being silly. 3/5 of 6 is equal to 3/5 times 6. And we've talked about how I can just switch, I can just switch these around. So I can switch these around and this becomes 6 times 3/5, which is the same problem we just solved. So you're right, though. Although this 3/5 of 6 is going to get smaller than 6, if we think back to that answer, 18/5, that would be 3 3/5. So it is still smaller than 6 because we're still just taking 3/5 of the 6. All right, so last one. Ready for it? 1 1/3 times 9. Go ahead and pause the video, solve it, try your best, and then when you're ready, hit play. So if I think about how I solved it, right? I knew I had to do 1/3 times 9, which got me 9/3. And I have this extra 1 on it, so I just slapped it on the end, right? It became 1 9/3. So that's how I did it. Now, hopefully some of us are thinking, wait, Mr. Depart, this doesn't look right. Okay, before we go about solving it the correct way, let's think about this question. Without even knowing how to solve it, why do we know that the answer is definitely not correct? So pause the video, think about it for a second. How do you know that 1 9/3 is definitely not right for this equation? So hopefully we said something like, I'm taking 1 1/3 groups of 9. So I'm going to have a whole group of 9 and then more than 9. So it doesn't matter that this is a mixed improper fraction, how it looks wonky or anything. But the reason is if we have 1 1/3 groups of 9, our answer has to be greater than 9 wholes. Okay? So if we look at the correct way to solve it, we still have to do that 1/3 times 9 to get 9/3, but we also have to do 1 times 9. So this 9's got to multiply with the 1/3 and with the 1 whole. 1 times 9 is 9. 1/3 times 9, we talked about earlier, was 9/3. We could change that to equal to 3. And then 9 plus 3 is 12. So 12 is our answer here. All right? So this is an optional Flipgrid, but I'm really hoping some of you take a stab at it because you did awesome on your Flipgrids the other day. Go to Flipgrid in Wednesday's folder, right? You pick a problem to solve. It obviously has to be a whole number times a fraction. If you'd want to do a mixed number times a fractions, if you want it to look like this problem, that's fine as well. Or mixed number times a whole number, that's fine as well. But don't solve it correctly. Have a mistake in there and see if you can stump us. Okay, don't tell us what you did wrong either. After you've done that, watch at least 2 other videos, try to figure out what they did wrong, and then show them how to do it correctly. All right, I'm really hoping we do this. I know it's a little bit extra. Shouldn't take too long though, because I'm looking forward to see what you did, and I'm hoping forward to trying to figure out what you did wrong and fix it. All right, guys, have a good day.